There are many beautiful places in Azeroth. Forests shaped by nature, cities shaped by survival, strongholds shaped by war. But Quel'Thalas feels different. It does not feel grown, it does not feel defended. It feels composed. Every line, every curve, every tower feels deliberate, as if the land itself was asked to step aside. Today, we will explore why Blood Elf architecture feels so unlike the rest of World of Warcraft. Not by recounting lore, not by listing buildings, but by observing how space, light, and form are used to communicate power, refinement, and control. The first thing you notice in Quel'Thalas is the silhouette. Buildings do not sit on the land, they rise above it. Towers stretch upward far beyond what function requires. Roof lines taper into spires. Arches curve skyward rather than outward. This is not architecture designed to shelter. It is architecture designed to be seen. Verticality is a language of authority. Height implies dominance. Elevation implies importance. In Silvermoon, power is never hidden. It is elevated. Even transitional elements, stairs, bridges, balconies, are exaggerated. Movement through space becomes ceremonial. To walk upward in Blood Elf architecture is not simply to change elevation, it is to participate in hierarchy. This is why vertical features feel essential in Blood Elf housing builds. Staircases are not connectors, they are statements. Balconies are not conveniences, they are vantage points. The architecture teaches us how to look up. Blood Elf structures rarely rely on sharp angles. Walls curve, arches flow. Rooflines bend rather than break. These curves soften the scale of tall structures without diminishing their authority. At the same time, symmetry imposes order. Windows align, columns repeat, pathways mirror one another. This combination, curvature and symmetry, creates a sense of refinement without chaos. Where other elven cultures blend into nature, the Blood Elves impose harmony upon it. This is elegance with boundaries, beauty with rules. Even decorative elements follow strict rhythm. Nothing feels accidental. Every curve resolves into balance. In Quel'Thalas, light is not decoration, it is structure. Gold trims catch sunlight and hold it. Arcane crystals replace fire. Magical glow defines edges and surfaces. Windows are tall and narrow, not to frame views, but to guide illumination. Light enters spaces intentionally. It falls where it is meant to fall. Darkness is rare. Shadow is controlled. This creates a feeling of permanence, of stability, of power sustained not by stone, but by magic. In Blood Elf architecture, illumination is authority made visible. This is why lighting choices matter so deeply in Blood Elf interiors. A single glowing surface can define an entire room. Light does not merely reveal form, it becomes form. Architecture is never neutral. It tells us where we may stand, where we may walk, and where we may not belong. In Silvermoon, space itself is hierarchical. Wide ceremonial paths invite approach. Narrow passages restrict access. Elevated platforms observe without being observed. Balconies overlook streets, never the opposite. Doorways frame entry as permission. Even empty space communicates rank. This is architecture designed to be navigated correctly, not for comfort, but for order. When these principles are applied to housing builds, restraint becomes powerful. Fewer rooms. Clear sightlines. Intentional thresholds. Space is not filled, it is respected. Blood Elf interiors rarely feel lived in, they feel prepared. Furniture is minimal. Placement is deliberate. Symmetry replaces clutter. A vanity is not simply functional, it is ceremonial. A bedroom is not merely private, it is composed. These spaces are not designed for rest. They are designed for identity. Absence becomes as important as presence. Empty floor reinforces importance. Negative space reinforces status. To inhabit a Blood Elf interior is to perform within it. When translating Quel'Thalas architecture into housing builds, 3 principles matter most. Height over width, light as structure, space as hierarchy. These are not aesthetic choices. They are the grammar of Blood Elf design. Once you recognize them, every spire, window, and staircase begins to make sense. Quel'Thalas was never meant to feel natural. It was meant to feel controlled, elevated, enduring. In the next exploration, we will look more closely at color and how gold, red, and arcane light define Blood Elf identity. And if you wish to see how these ideas become real spaces, you will find my Blood Elf housing builds linked below. Until then, walk softly through Silvermoon.